Hi, it's Anne from The Useless Crafter. So today we're making a cake topper shaker with a special surprise. One of my girlfriends, she made the cutest cake topper, and it's a little bit more interactive. So as you're blowing out the candles, you'll have things spinning. So it's a little bit different than the actual slider that I did. I don't mean spinning like this, but I will show you. So, all right, let's get started. It's a Twinkle Twinkle Little Star theme. So one of the things that you want to do is you want to get your glue gun out. So I'm going to heat that up. The only other thing that you will need is some sort of glue dots or the glue tape runner. I love that. And double-sided tape. And you'll want some sequins or some sort of confetti. And I think that's it. I will talk about this gun though, this glue gun. It is awesome. It's Shore Bonder. It has a little catcher for all the drippings. It's a stand and it's also cordless. So it is awesome to use. But all right, so let's get started on here. This is a shaker, so I'm going to show you how to do that. I am trying for the first time just one layer of foam. So I think it's actually enough. So all the times that I did the double layer was just for my own benefit. So, all right, so this is still heating up. I will go over what you need to have for your, okay, besides whatever background you have, the actual just anatomy of the shaker is you need the back of the shaker. You want your foam. Your foam is creating basically a wall so that you can put your sequins in, okay? This foam sheet is from Michael's. It was in a pack of like 80 sheets. And I cut it on my Cricut Maker. So I choose flex foam, and so when I choose that, it makes you put in your rotary blade and it cuts. I haven't had any problems at all. So you can see how thick it is. I think it's actually fine. So we'll see once we put it in. But anyway, so you have your foam. Then you're gonna put your acetate on. Now, I have used in the past acetate sheets from Cricut. And it cuts perfectly again on the Maker, but this time, because I didn't have any that I wanted to use, this is not acetate paper, or I guess it is, I don't know what you call it, but I mean, it's a sheet protector from Avery, so it's the super strong sheet protector from Avery. I think the Avery it's Avery 7700 or 77,000. Is the number for it. So, okay, you have that on. Then you have the cover of your foam. So that's gonna be paper, but that way your foam sheet is covered, and then here's your shaker. Then you add everything to the top or bottom, however you wanna design it. But that's actually just the basics of putting together a shaker. All right, so now that my glue gun is getting warmer, I'm gonna make sure you have your extra I always have the hardest time like jamming in this piece. It's not in, but that's okay. Okay, so I have found that I like using my Xyron right here, but I feel like the foam gets really warped. It changes its shape when I stick it in. So instead, I am just going to use this. It's Tombow. I like it because it covers my foam exactly, and it doesn't change my shape. So I'm just gonna put a scrap sheet of paper underneath. All right, so let's get started. So you wanna make sure you cover the whole thing though, okay? So, and that just creates a really good wall, and your sequins doesn't fall out. That's the most important thing if you're doing this on your cake. The other thing is, if you want to make sure you don't have an issue, I would use the bigger sequins. I wouldn't use the little ones, and especially not the glitter, if you really want to make sure. But okay, so this is completely taped. You just want to put it on the inside of this. So that's in. The next thing that I would recommend is think of your shaker. When you're moving it, things are moving all around, right? But once it sits and it settles, you want to make sure that there's some sequins up here. So I cut out some, okay, I was wondering where my extra stars are. So I cut out some stars to put in, so just tiny ones. But go ahead and glue that down. So I'm just going to take a little bit of glue. Just a little bit, and then also I would take out any sequins that you want to put in. So kind of want to put bigger ones in. Let me see what I have. And I just ordered some sequins. The ones that I had before, they were already mixed in, so I have a hard time like finding the right colors that I want, but that's okay. So I just want to put like a little bit of glue here and there. That way you have some that will stick up here. All right, so now that that's in, go ahead and dump in more. And I'm gonna do some of these. And you know what? One layer of foam is plenty. So all that extra work that I did before, unnecessary, so. Okay, got that down. Let's put our glue tape on top so that we can put our acetate paper. Or in my case, the sheet protector from Avery. This whole section right here lifted, so I'm just going to get my glue gun while we still have it here. And all right, so that's on. Put your acetate paper on. And then on this one, you could just put your glue tape again. Now this one just needs to stick on because it's more decorative, because the acetate paper is in between, so it's not holding in the glitter at all. There you have it. I love it. Okay, so we have this. Now I would almost recommend building this backwards. So actually doing this top layer face down, putting the acetate paper, and then putting the foam on, because then the foam has this to the outline for you to follow. I would do that because you could see some of my foam. I wasn't worried because I know this is just a test piece, but do you see how it does it? It didn't completely follow the shape, and it's okay because the foam is white, and I think it's fine, and it's also my test piece, actually, to be honest. So just want to make sure you build it backwards, okay? I'm gonna have to remember that going forward. All right. Now, what we want to do is we want to build everything. So we're going to do our little glue dot, glue spacers, okay? So on the back of everything, you want to do a couple dots, and you're going to let it dry. So that way it gives you the little height and depth that you want. So just take your glue gun, put little dots. You want to put it so that your whole piece is going to be leveled and stable. So don't just put one, because one's not going to hold it. It's going to go back and forth, right? So you want a couple dots just to make sure it's leveled and really stable, so you don't have to worry about it. All right, so I put a couple dots there and maybe one more. All right, so let that dry. This is little Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. It's really delicate. I don't even know if it's worth trying to make it. I think it'll just lay flat because everything is really, really small. All right, so we have that. Then we want to build the stars. So what we're going to do is I want to put a star right here hanging on a thread so it'll spin, as well as here. So what we're going to do is we're going to build those stars. So those stars have a lot of layers, and I have them over here. We're going to build 3 of them, okay? So I have the tops. You want to build it on 2 sides, because if you think about your star spinning, you want the back side to look like its front side as well. So, all right, so with these, we are going to put little dots on them. So go ahead and do your layers. So put a little dot, let it dry. And this is really nice because I know from watching, I do my research by watching other people. And a lot of people use the foam tape to create, you know, the space, but like these stars are tiny. And so I feel like it would be a lot more difficult to work with. My glue. That one had like a crazy glue string. So I find that it is easier to use your glue gun to create the space because it gives you more precision. And oh, my glue gun is like, I don't know what's going on here. Let me wipe this off. It was seriously running. All right. It's like leaking big time. What I do like about, sorry, I'm like losing my train of thought here. Oh, it's seriously running. All right, so I'm gonna let that sit a little bit. I think because the other day, of course, I do this all the time. I walked away and forgot to turn it off, and so it was on for 6 hours. That's probably not the best thing. But every 5 projects or so, I let that happen. So all right, so now that this is dry, now we're gonna put the glue onto the glue dots and actually use it as glue. So let's do that. And I'll pick it up so that you can see already with just that little, you can see there's a little space. And so, I mean, you already kind of get that look from doing an offset, but this just gives you extra. And when you have it standing up, everything's kind of like at different depths. And so it really makes for a polished look. So, all right, so on this one, I think we really, because it's so delicate, we're gonna do this. You could actually run it through the Xyron, that would be good too, but I don't wanna do that today. Okay, so this is really delicate. Just make sure, oh, and I just took off my K. All right, as I was giving you the warning, it should be okay. Oh, why isn't my tape going? Okay. What? Oh. Let's see if I have another one. All right, I think this is, no, this is glue dots. Give me a second, I have another one. All right, here's my other one. I'm gonna try to fix what I just ripped off. It should be fine because it's gold. I love using gold glitter cardstock for this reason. It really hides the seams well. So although that shouldn't have been a seam, but I do lots of off the mat projects. And so, you know, you have seams that you wanna try to hide, and glitter cardstock in general is really good to work with, but gold glitter cardstock is really, really awesome. All right, so I'm gonna try to, I didn't get the whole thing, but I think I got enough for it to stick to the cake topper. And again, I mean, it's a cake topper, so it's not gonna get a lot of wear and tear. So it's okay for it to not be 100% super, super sticky. But this is pretty sticky right now. All right. Can't believe that K popped off like that. All right, so actually, you can't see it at all. So the bottom, the N to the K is what the little thing of the N at the end to connecting to the K, it ripped off, but you can't see it at all from here. I will take really good pictures, close-up pictures. You're not gonna be able to see it. All right, so we have that. So let's do our stars. So now as we're building them, we're gonna want to put glue. All the glue dots are dry. So here's our first one. And these stars are so small that I am just going to run it under my glue gun, like just the drippings. And I'm gonna use that. So this is 3 layers. And it just gives you, you know, you want to build it so that it gives you just some extra personality. All right, so now we have this, right? Let's pull our thread. I'm all over the place. Okay, here's I used gray. All right, so let's pull it out. And let's just, I don't know how much string I'm gonna need. When I was looking at it, it's probably not that much, but it doesn't hurt to have extra string, and we can always trim it off. So it's long. So now let's glue this string down. So that's glued down. Let's build the back of this one. And I'll put a little bit more glue. And I didn't really cut a lot of stars to fit well. So I just have the back. So you see this? So it's gonna be hanging and you see it spins. Ah, I love it. Okay, so we'll have to figure out where to put it, but yeah, that's gonna be cute. Okay, so this is one and we're building 3 of them. This one, these 2 are only 2 layers, so it'll be quicker. All right, so let's get down this little guy. I think what I need to do now is, I was never your traditional crafter, so I don't make cards and I don't do scrapbooking, but I feel like I need to go back and now watch some of those videos, because whatever they do with that, and I feel like that was the backbone of crafting for decades. So there's so many good ideas to take from that to put onto a cake topper or a banner for that matter. Because for the sliders and the shakers, I felt like there weren't that many videos for a cake topper, but then once I went into the card making side, it's like, oh, that's how you do it. Okay, so now let me just shift that over to a cake topper and figure out how to put it on there. All right, so these 2 are built. Let's do our string. Okay, let's flip these over and get some glue on there. I am having serious problems with my glue today. All right, so let's do this one. All right, and then we just need to put a backing on it. So, and the backing, I'm not even doing layers. I'm just putting one piece on there. Okay, so that's on. Let's do the glue dots on the back of our moon and let that dry, and then we'll get back to our stars, our hanging, moving stars. Okay. So with our first one, let's see, this one's the bigger one. What you want to do is you have your star here. You want to find a place to where you want to put it, and then we'll tape it down. So it needs to have a top and a bottom to do it. So like right now, I think I'm going to put it in between. So you want to twist it some. I'm trying to find a good spot where it's still going to move. So I think I'm gonna put it on right here. I don't want the string, I don't want people to be distracted by the string, so I'm trying to find a spot where it will move, but you're gonna see just a little string, a little bit of string. All right, so I'm gonna glue it down, and I'll show you what the back looks like. And you wanna make sure that there's enough room for it to spin so that it's not gonna hit anything. Okay, so let that sit. I'm gonna find another spot for this one. Okay, let that dry. I have one more. Oh, I think I was gonna put it right here. Okay, so I'm gonna cut off the excess string. So do you see it moves? All right, so we'll let it dry a little bit more before I mess with that. Okay, so and then you just want to clean up. For me on this one, I had so much of the glue drippings, so you just want to make sure you clean that up, but we can do that later. Okay. So these move, and you can kind of work on this one. I'm not gonna glue this down. I'm not gonna glue a backing to it because I wanna see, like, do I need to give more slack or less slack on the stars, okay? But in the meantime, we can put this down. So let's glue this one. Now that the glue dots are dry, let's put a little bit of glue on there. So you have the shaker and you have the moving stars. I hope that was helpful. Please leave a comment if you have your own project that you want me to work on. You can just post it either on comments through Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube. Or you can email me at ann@theuselesscrafter.com. All right, thanks guys, bye.